I want to talk about bruxism, so teeth grinding. A lot of people grind their teeth and don't even know that they grind their teeth. Yeah, I won't tell you how many times like people have already written to me like, oh, I put a hole or I ripped a hole through my Reviv mouthguard, and I guess it's because I'm clenching and grinding and I didn't even know it. It happens a lot. Why do people grind and what does this do? That's what I want to talk a little bit about today. And generally my rule is the more a person grinds, like if a person grinds, especially if they grind for a while, they're gonna have health issues. Like they're one and the same. So as you grind and flatten the curve of Spee, like you're gonna have more and more health issues because you're essentially flattening your curve of Spee, which crushes the skull and twists the skeleton. So, one thing I'll say about bruxism, like some of the mouth guards out there that dentists give are flat and they're relatively okay. It's one of the few things that dentists have sort of gotten right because they'll give you this mouth guard that people wear at night, and then, people, they save their teeth a little bit and they brux a little bit less, even though dentists have completely misunderstood, in my view, why and how this problem works and how to fix it. One of their solutions, which is for bruxism, kind of works, which I find almost hilarious, right? So why does bruxism occur? Well, I view it as the engineering of the jaw and the skull. Our blueprint, in my view, called for a perfectly sized and shaped skull and a perfectly positioned and shaped and sized jaw. And that never happens in modern society. So, like, people develop to some small fraction of what they were supposed to. Yet, the jaw is an amazingly complex piece of engineering, right? Like, it doesn't just go up and down. It doesn't just go side to side. Like, it also, like, the jaw kind of acts like this hinge joint, right? Like, it like comes out of the socket and then moves and then comes back into the socket. So there's a lot of different movements that happen in the jaw, and plus, like, they're not connected by any bone. Like, it's just connected by soft tissue to the rest of the skull. So this is, like if you were to design with a robot, like if Elon Musk were to try to take his Maximus and correctly design the human jaw and how the teeth fit together, like, I guarantee you he's going to have a really hard time because it is very complex engineering. So now think about all that complex engineering. Imagine one of the world's most modern skyscrapers that was built to be, even if an earthquake comes, it just kind of like can shake. And so it was built to be able to withstand lots of different elements. But when they built it, they just decided like, all right, we got to cut the budget by like 20-30%. So let's just at the last minute, without making a new design, just like construct it smaller. Right. And so they build the whole thing at 70% smaller, and like the whole thing's got to kind of like, they got to kind of wing it. And then an earthquake comes. Is that skyscraper going to function the same way as if it was designed to its correct design? No, it had to be changed in order to cut the budget and be 70% of the size. And I kind of think like of the jaw and the skull is the same way, right? Like we were designed for 100% development. But that never happens, maybe 70% happens in your average human being these days. And as a result, the way the teeth, like the jaw doesn't come out to its full size, the teeth kind of go wherever they have room, and things don't exactly fit, like things fit in a different way than they were intended. And as a result, because the contact is on the teeth, like the jaw is not exactly moving and the way that it was designed to. And therefore, like the result of that is that everything's a little bit crushed and the teeth end up grinding on each other, because things didn't develop correctly to begin with. And that, for me, is why you have bruxism. So if a person had 100% developed skull, jaw, all the teeth came in straight, wisdom straight, arches, full length, I don't think that person theoretically would have almost any bruxism, right? That person would theoretically even potentially like live forever because there's no grinding of the teeth. But since that doesn't happen, right, this whole thing needs to work in this compensated state. And bruxism is because like your jaw is smaller than it meant to be, and like this whole thing doesn't work the way that it was designed to. So how to fix bruxism? So in my view, it's the same fix as what I talk about for everything else, which is that you just need a mouth guard, something like a mouth guard. You need to add height. You need to remove the locking occlusion of how your teeth come together. And then little by little, this whole thing stretches and the muscles will begin to stretch. Like the muscles that were causing you to brux will start to stretch, and you should stop grinding your teeth at some point. So my final thoughts on bruxism is, it is because we misdeveloped. We had the right blueprint, But this jaw and skull did not come in according to the blueprint, and therefore the teeth had to kind of compensate and come together however they could, and that causes certain muscles to be shortened, and it causes this bruxism process to happen where we start grinding down our teeth, and that essentially flattens the curve of Spee and causes this whole skull collapse, skeleton twisting process that I talk about, and therefore you need to reverse the process by doing Reviv.